Nope. Okay, I'll talk about it a bit more in depth. I covered a lot of what made Farscape such a good show in other videos, but in those videos I pretty much covered nothing regarding the miniseries which brought the show to a close, so I thought diving into the Peacekeeper Wars was worth another video. Among the pantheon of sci-fi franchises, Farscape seems to be the weird cousin to everyone else. While everyone can recognize the military sci-fi aesthetic of Stargate or the outer space adventure of Star Trek, the inherent weirdness of Farscape sets it apart from the others. But this meant it was no less as great as a show. And while a loyal fanbase had kept it going for 4 good years, tragedy came when it was unceremoniously cancelled and left on a killer cliffhanger. Just as Crichton has made the ultimate sacrifice to protect Earth, just as he and Erin settle down, seemingly escaping the Scaran-Sebastian conflict, a ship comes out of nowhere and reduces them both to ashes right before our eyes. I cannot imagine the turmoil felt by Farscape fans during this time. But it's thanks to those fans that Farscape was able to return in late 2004 with the miniseries Farscape: The Peacekeeper Wars. With a larger budget stretched across fewer episodes, The Peacekeeper Wars is truly the best Farscape has ever looked. The strangeness of its shooting style and creativity of its production design remains intact, but with a grander scope and heaps of good eye candy. Farscape has never been big on space action, but here we get some terrific space battles and spaceship beauty shots adorned with gorgeous colour palettes and stunning compositions. And to fit the grander scope of the visuals, the score has also become more sweeping and symphonic, while still retaining the show's signature flavour. The weaker aspects of the Peacekeeper Wars are in its plotting. A number of plot points are quite contrived, such as Crichton and Erin's deaths being the result of an accident, the aliens who can miraculously bring peace, the classic fast-forward pregnancy, etc. This is no doubt a result of the season's worth of plans having to be streamlined into a 3-hour miniseries, and in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't to the detriment of the final product. The accelerated pregnancy and miraculous peace-bringing aliens kind of fit within Farscape weirdness, and once again the Jim Henson team outdid themselves with the incredible practical makeup effects work. And with more time and dedication, the CG work has also noticeably improved since the series, although it is still quite a bit dated. The hunt for Crichton's wormhole knowledge is still a captivating plotline, and when the ultimate weapon is finally realised, it's spectacular. The concept of a wormhole-based weapon has been left deliberately vague up until this point, and finally seeing what Crichton has been harbouring all this time is a thing to behold. The frenetic action and craziness stops dead for a holy shit moment of holy shit moments. But despite a slightly contrived series of events, the strength of the miniseries is the strength of the show, and that is the characters. Much like the long-running plots from the show, seeing the arcs of these characters finally wrap up is cathartic bliss. Farscape has ultimately always been about a dysfunctional family trying to survive in an insane universe, and this being the last hurrah for Farscape, each of our major characters are given their just ends. Relationships are repaired and sacrifices are made. Stark finds a place among the Eidolons and finally loses his crippling fear. Sikozu is revealed as the ultimate traitor and suffers the consequences. Even the villains are given ends to their arcs, with Gracia becoming a mother, giving her a new perspective on the entire conflict. Scorpius' fanatical pursuit of wormhole weapons shown to be completely futile, but it's the heartbreaking end of Dargo which is the most memorable. Having repaired his relationship with his son, settling down with Chiana, Dargo's end is as tragic as they come, making a final stand to ensure his friend's escape, epitomizing Farscape's humour, badassery and sincerity in one single sequence. But it's Crichton and Erin who continue to be the best part of the show. Browder and Black, just like the rest of the cast, didn't lose a thing between the 4th season and the miniseries. Browder is just as powerful in his lunacy, and Black is just as badass in her everything. And the final closing scene as Crichton and Erin show their child the strange and wonderful universe he has to grow up in. There's simply no better ending Farscape fans could have hoped for. I know the showrunners had a kernel of hope that this miniseries could generate enough interest for more Farscape content, but I think it's actually for the best it ended here. Farscape was the sci-fi show which bucked trends and really cemented its unique identity within sci-fi pop culture and fandom. While other shows may have had similar plots and stories, the surreal atmosphere and endlessly creative visuals, propelled by a terrifically talented cast and rich characters, meant no other sci-fi show could quite match its brilliant strangeness. So Farscape: The Peacekeeper Wars, did it suck? No, of course not. Going from the excruciating cliffhanger of Season 4's cancellation to an epic, excellent miniseries finale is probably the best fans could have hoped for. I know there have been rumblings about a reboot or movie adaptation which have been shambling about in development hell for a while, but honestly, Farscape as it is a fantastic sci-fi show which should be discovered and appreciated by as wide an audience as possible before being remade or rebooted. For anyone wanting to relive the show or introduce someone to it, grab a Prime Video membership or something and just marathon it. Also, The Expanse Season 4 and Picard show are coming to that platform, and Battlestar Galactica is already there, so you know, plenty of good stuff. John Smith asks, I know you're not a huge classic Doctor Who fan, but do you have any favourite episodes? I'm not a huge classic Who fan simply because I haven't seen most of it, but there's a lot I've really enjoyed, including but not limited to the Dalek Invasion of Earth, Day of the Daleks, Inferno, Doctor Who and the Silurians, Pyramids of Mars, Genesis of the Daleks, City of Death, Earthshock, and a few others. I did have a watch list of classic Who serials I was working through, which I'm still to finish. I'm not sure how big the demand is for more Doctor Who videos on this channel, but I'd certainly like to do more. Dave Dumas asks, can you do a video on Lex? I saw the first season of Lex, and I don't even know where to begin. It is the oddest sci-fi show I have ever seen, and honestly, I didn't particularly enjoy it all that much, so I'm hesitant to watch more. Jesse Adair asks, why do you hate the Enterprise theme tune? I love the visuals of the Enterprise intro, and I commend experimentation. Having an actual theme song was certainly a bold choice. However, I do think the original desire to use Beautiful Day by U2 would have worked a bit better. The actual song they did use, Faith of the Heart, was originally written for Rod Stewart to tie in with a Robin Williams film, and its tonal and stylistic discrepancy I think is really evident in the final show for me. It just reeks of bad 90s rock to my ears, and sounds too sanitized and trite. I know a friend of the channel, Space Dog, really likes it, and there seems to be a large contingent of fans who agree. So if you like it, fair enough, but it's not my cup of tea, unfortunately. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on all my new uploads. Special thanks to all of my patrons who support this channel. Over there you can see videos up to a week early. Until next time, have a good one, live long, and prosper.